Hello friends, welcome back to today's class. So today, in continuation with the previous class wherein we have started with our linear algebra concepts, moving ahead we'll try to understand what are this system of linear equations. Okay, so in the previous class we have went through what actually is linear algebra and what is the matrices. We have also went through some of the concepts of abstract algebra. So all those things have been covered in the previous class. So I hope you have seen the previous video. So the forming the basis of the previous video, today we'll try to understand what is this system of linear equations. Okay, now what is a linear equation? The first question which arises is what is the meaning of this linear equation? So an equation which is represented something like this, you can observe here, that is a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 plus up till an into xn, and which is equal to b. Now what it means now? It means that all our variables with the coefficients x are on the other side, and all our constants, which could be a real number or which could be a complex number, all these constants will be on the other hand side. So if we are able to write our equation in this form, I mean to say, what is the meaning of this form here? That is, if we are able to bring all our variables with the coefficients on one hand side and all the constants on the other hand side, then we call such an equation as linear equation. So this is the meaning of your linear equation, and this is the definition of your linear equation. Now in this equation, what are our a and b? So a and b are nothing but these are our coefficients. We call them as coefficients, and these could be, as I told just now, they could be your real numbers or they could be your complex numbers. Anything could be okay. Now there is some condition for this n. That is n should be only a positive integer. It can be only a positive integer, and we cannot have a negative integer. So to understand, let us look after some of the equations here. So let me take some equations to make this understand. Okay, so see here, let us consider the first equation, that is 4x1 minus 5x2 plus 2 is equal to x1. Okay, now we say these are linear equations. That means what now? We should be able to get all our x terms with their coefficients on one hand side. It could be your LHS, and all our constants on the other hand side. Okay, so that means I need to just shuffle it out. That means how it could be written then? I need to take this 2 to the other hand side. I'll be taking this 2 on the other hand side, that is RHS. Thereby it becomes a minus 2. And this x1 which is there on RHS, that I will be taking on the LHS. Okay, so that means what now? 4x1 minus x1, the answer is what? 3x1. So is this equation, what are the equation you can see here right now, is it the same form as this equation? Yes, it is of the same form. So therefore we call it as what now? A linear equation. Similarly, let us take another example, this example. So it is nothing but x2 is equal to, into the bracket, 2 into square root of 6 minus x1 plus x3. Now what is happening here, friends? x2 is on the LHS, and this x1 and x3 are on the RHS. So as per the definition, it should be all our x terms with their coefficients on the one hand side, and all our constants must be on the other hand side. So let us try to do it now. That means what I can do now? Simple thing, I can get this x2 which is there on the LHS, I'll try to get it on the RHS. So that means when I get this on the RHS, what it happens? It becomes a minus x2. And I can get this 2 root 6 on the LHS. Okay, that means what now? We have separated our coefficients with our constant. So this is one way. What could be the other way? The other way is nothing but we can get all this minus x1 this side, minus x3, that is plus x3 this side, thereby it becomes a minus x3, and 2 root 6 on the other hand side. So even that is okay. Anything is okay. Either you get them on the LHS or you get them on the RHS. So after doing that, this is what you will be getting. Okay, so therefore these two equations which you can see here, these are the examples of your linear equation. Okay. Now, what could not be a linear equation? That means what could be a non-linear equation. So for that, this is the best example. If you observe here we have only the terms with the x coefficients. There is no constant term, even though you can put them all on the one hand side, but there is no what constant term. So in this case, we call it as a non-linear equation. Okay. Now similarly here also, what is happening here? We have 2 root x1. So when such type of equation comes, we call them as non-linear equation. Okay. Now let us go ahead with the next topic, that is a system of linear equations is a collection of one or more linear equations comprising the same variables like x1, x2 and xn. That means what now? Till now we understood what is a linear equation. Now, what could happen if I have more than one linear equation? So when we have more than one linear equation, we call it as a system of linear equations. That is the meaning. So right now you can see here there are 2 linear equations, right? So when we have 2 linear equations, then we call it as a system of linear equation. Now, every equation, whether it could be a linear equation or it could be a non-linear equation, we will be having their solutions. Okay. So we need to decide what are the various solutions which we could get. Okay. So see here friends, a solution of the system is a list. That means here we will get more than one solutions. Like what are the solutions? They could be S1, S2 up till Sn. So these set, that is nothing but, let us see here now, the set of all such solutions is called solution set of linear system. So when you solve these both equations, you will get some solutions. You will get the value of x1, you will get the value of x2, you will get the value of x3. Now that solution set is called as, it is solution set. It is called as solution set. See here. Okay, done. Now 2 linear equations are called equivalent if they have same solution set. That means whatever the answer you get by solving a set of first set of linear equations, and whatever the answer you get by solving the second set of linear equations, if both are equal, then we call them as they have same solution set. That is, a first system of linear equation will be there, say something like this. This is my first system of linear equation, and I have another system of linear equations, say this is my second system of linear equations. Okay, and the solution of this set, that is the solution of this system, will be S1, S2 and S3, right? The solution of this would be what now? S1, S2 and S3, and if they are equal, that is the S1, S2, S3 of the first system and S1, S2, S3 of the second system, if they are equal, then we call them as solution set. Okay. Next thing is, a system of linear equations has either no solution. The first condition is what? They might not have any solution. Next condition, or the next probability we can say, or the next possibility we can say, is that they might have exactly one solution, and the third possibility is they might have many solutions. So what it means now? I have a system of linear equations, right? For the system of linear equations, you have a set of solutions, that is solution set. Now this solution set could be what now? When you solve that system of linear equations, you may not get any of the solution. That is the first possibility. The second possibility is they might have only one solution. Whatever may be the solution set, you will be getting only one answer. Or the third possibility is you might get n number of solutions. Okay, so this is very important, friends. That is how your system of linear equations look. Okay, so let us try to understand the very next important point. When your linear equations are called consistent. Okay, so let us see here. A system of linear equations is said to be consistent if it has either one solution or many solutions. See here friends, that means what now? I have a set of linear equations like this. I have a system of linear equations. Okay, then after solving those system of linear equations, I might get only one solution, or I might get many solutions. So if number 2 and number 3, any one of them is satisfied, then such a system of linear equations is called as a consistent system. That means when it is inconsistent, very simple, when it satisfies your option number 1. What is option number 1? When we don't get any solution when we solve a system of linear equations. Okay, so remember this definition friends, when our linear system would be consistent and when our linear system would be inconsistent. Okay, so that means what all did we understand now from today's class? The first thing is, what is a linear equation? First point, right? Keep this in mind. Next point is what? There could be non-linear equations as well. And what is a non-linear equation? Next, there could be a system of linear equations. Third point, right? And for a system of linear equations, you have a solution set. The fourth point. Now, when we speak of solution set, there could be 3 types of solutions. Which are the 3 types of solutions? Either it could be no solution, one solution, or many solutions. Finally, the last point, if I have one solution and many solution, we call such a system of linear equations as consistent. And if I have no solution, then we call it as an inconsistent system. Okay, so this is all friends. Please try to understand this. Okay, my suggestion would be make notes. Please listen to the video once, make notes, and again come back. That would be a perfect thing. Okay, next very important point we are going to understand is the meaning of matrix notation. So everywhere, that is in the whole module 4 and module 5, we will be trying to represent our equations in the form of the matrices. Okay, so that's why let us consider the first set of linear equations. So see here, these are my linear equations. So if you observe here friends, they are already in that form. You can see all our x terms are on the one side, LHS, and all our constants are on the other side, RHS. So no need to do any shuffling things here, right? Next, how it could be represented in the form of a matrix. So if you observe here, the first equation, which is x1 minus 2x2 plus x3. That means what is coefficient of x1? 1. So therefore we are written here 1. What is coefficient of x2? Minus 2. Therefore we are written here minus 2. What is coefficient of x3? It is 3. Okay, so that's why we are written here 3. Okay, next comes is your sorry, there is a slight mistake here. This should I should write here 3. It is 1 minus 2 and this is 3x3. The coefficient should be 3. Just so you can just make a point here. It's a slight mistake. Best is I will use the board so that it would not it should not confuse you. So what I'm trying to tell is, please make a note here. This is 3x3. That means what now? Here we have 1. So therefore what we are written here? 1. Here we have minus 2. That's why what we are written here? Minus 2. Here it should be 3. Then we can write here what now? 3x3. Okay. Similarly, we will be doing it for the other set. We will be doing it for the other equation. Okay. So this is 3 friends. Right. So other equation is what now? Do we have a x1 term? No. Do we have a coefficient of x1? No. So that means what now? It is 0. Right. For x2 what we have? We have 3. So therefore here we are written 3. For x3 we have minus 8. So therefore minus 8. Coming to the third equation, here we have minus 3. So therefore we have written here minus 3. Here we have 6. So therefore we have written 6. And here we have 7. Therefore we have written here 7. Okay. Now this matrix, whatever you are written here, this matrix, it consists of all the coefficients of your linear equation. Then therefore it is called as coefficient matrix. So if anybody tells you to write a coefficient matrix, what you should do? First you should take the linear equations, you should shuffle all the terms, bring it to the standard form of the linear equations. After bringing it, no need to do here because it has been already done. After bringing it, write the matrix of the coefficients of the variables of your x1, x2 and x3. Okay, so now this is nothing but your coefficient matrix. So similar to the next very important thing we have is augmented matrix. Now what could be augmented matrix? To this coefficient matrix, if we add our constants, which are nothing but 0, 9 and 6. So see here, we have added our constant 0, 9 and 6. So when we expand our coefficient matrix by adding the constants, then that matrix is called as augmented matrix. Okay. So this is the thing, friends, the difference between coefficient matrix and augmented matrix. Next. Now, we need to solve the linear system. Whatever the linear system means, what now? A set of linear equations, right? So we want to solve a set of linear equations, which is nothing but we need to solve a linear system. How do we solve it? We have a procedure called as elimination procedure. This is the first procedure. Okay. Now, let us consider your equations. Let us consider your equations, which are the same equations here. So see here, we have considered your equations. See here, let us see this. That is nothing but x1 minus 2x2 plus x3, 2x2 minus 8x3 is equal to 8, minus 4x1 plus 5x2 plus 9x3 is equal to minus 9. So we will be solving this equation by elimination procedure. So first, bring it into the standard form of linear equation. So it is already there in the standard form, so no need to do anything. Next, write it in the form of a augmented matrix. So see here. Please note down the steps if you are interested. First, you will be finding it, you will be converting it into a linear system of equations. Next, you will be writing the augmented matrix. What is augmented matrix? It is nothing but it is the combination of your coefficients and the constants. So what are the coefficients here? 1, the first x1 is 1, minus 2, here it is minus 2, then plus 1. So you can see here 1, minus 2 and plus 1. What is there as a constant? 0. So as a constant you have 0. Similarly, what about the second equation? There is no x1 term, so therefore you are writing here 0. You have a x2 term, so write here 2. Then minus 8 and 8. So 8 here is constant. Similarly, the third equation. Okay. Now we will be solving this matrix. We will be solving this matrix. So remember, friends, the next very important step is, while solving, we will be performing an operation on one of the equations. These are our equations right now. Okay. Now, when we perform our operations on one of the equations, only that particular equation will be changing, and with the help of what equation we are performing the operation, that equation will not be affected. Mark my words, when you try to do any operation, only the equation where you are doing the operation, that equation will be changed, and the equation using which you are doing the operation, that equation will remain unchanged. Okay. Now let us try to understand how this happens. So we have our equation 3. Let us say I want to change my equation 3. See, at the end of the day, I want to find your values of x1, x2 and x3. So therefore, the first thing I will be doing is I want to get my equation 3. I want to change my equation 3. Okay. Now, what we are doing. So if you observe here, the equation I want to do, see, very simple thing. If I want to eliminate this minus 4, what I can do? I want to eliminate this minus 4. What I can do? I can multiply a 4 with this equation. So, and if I multiply a 4 with this 1, what is the value I am getting here? 4. Value I will be getting here is 4, right? So when the value I get here 4, it means that when I add this equation and the third equation, I will be getting a 0. Okay. So let us try to understand with the help of the board, I guess, so that would be more understandable. Okay. So see here, friends, what I am trying to tell is, I will multiply this equation by 4. That means this 1 turns into 4, this minus 2, it turns into 8, this 1 turns into 4, okay, and this is 0. Okay. That means what now? What did I do? I have done 4 into equation 1. I have done 4 into equation 1. Then I want to add it to equation 3. So this is my equation 3. I want to add it. Why I will be adding it? Once I add it, this 4, that is plus 4, and this minus 4 will get cancelled. Okay, so that means what now? Here we have 4x1, right? From this 4x1 minus 8x2 plus 4x3. Okay, and when you add it, what you get? This is 0. Okay, minus 8 plus 5, this is minus 3. 9 plus 4, this is 13. And minus 9 plus 0, this is now. Very important, friends. We are changing our equation number 3. So as I told you to mark my words some minutes back, that is, this equation 1 will remain unchanged. There will be no change in this equation 1, and only this equation 3 will be changing. That means what now, friends? I'll just show you the original equation. So your original equation is what now? 1, minus 2, 1 and 0. You can see here the equation 1 has remained unchanged. Only change we are observing is what now? In your equation 3. So see, this is the changed equation 3. You can observe instead of minus 4, we have a minus 4 here. Instead of minus 4, we have got 0. Okay, that means we are writing this terms. So 0 first term, next we have written minus 3. Okay, next we have written 13, and then minus. Is that, I hope it is understanding. That means you can observe in a clear way, whenever you write equal to some equation, only that corresponding equation will be changing. So see here, this same thing can be written as something like this, that is equation 3. I'll just write 3. Okay, so equation 3 is equal to equation 3 plus 4 times equation 1. Okay, so what it means then? What it means, that is, when I write this equation 3 is equal to equation 3, when this matches, that means only this equation 3 is changing and this equation 1 remains unchanged. Okay, that means what you write on the RHS side, what equation you write on the RHS side, only that particular equation will be changing, and the other equation, which is here in our case equation 1, will remain unchanged. Okay, so this is what I am trying to tell you. So thereby we have got our new matrix now. We have got our new matrix, which is nothing but 1, minus 2, 1, 0, 0, 2, minus 8 and 8, and 0, minus 3, 13 and minus 9. Okay, now we need to still further simplify it, because still we cannot get our answers of x1, x2 and s3. Okay, so therefore the next step, what we would like to do, see, whatever the steps we are doing right now, it is not compulsory that you should do it in the same pattern. It is not compulsory that you should do the same operation. You can do any operation. And you can do it in any format. Like first you can multiply your equation 2 with half, and then you can do this operation. No issues. It's not wrong. Anything is okay. No problem. But make sure you follow certain rules, like this one. That is, when you change one particular equation, only that particular equation will change and the other equation will remain unchanged. Okay, so next thing we have is we need to multiply our equation 2 with half. Fine. So where is our equation 2? This is our new equation 2, right? That means 2x2 minus 8x3 is equal to 8. We are getting 2x2. 1 second. Okay, so what we are getting, friends? We are getting 2x2, here I have a 2x2 minus 8x3 is equal to 8. So in clear terms, it is something like this: 2x2 minus 8x3 is equal to 8. Okay, so this equation we are going to multiply it with a half. That means when you multiply it with half, this gets divided by 2, this also gets divided by 2, as well as the constant also gets divided by 2. That means what is the answer you are getting, friends? This 2 and this 2 would get cancelled. You will get a x2. Fine. Next, this 2 and 8 will get cancelled. You will get a 4 here. Okay. And this 2 and 8 will get cancelled. You will get a 4 here. That means what is the new equation? It is x2. You can see here x2 minus 4x3 is equal to 4. Okay. So if you write the same equation in terms of our matrices, how it becomes? Please observe. It is nothing but 1x1. You can see here it is 1x1. So therefore the coefficient is 1 minus 2. Fine. Then plus 1 and 0. Similarly here there is no x1 term. So therefore we are written here 0. x2 is 1 minus 4 and 4. The constant is 4. Next is 0 minus 3, 13 and minus 9. Okay. So we have reached the next step. We have reached the next step, but still it's not sufficient. Still we cannot get the value of any one of the x1, x2 or x3. Why? Because still there are two terms. You can observe here. Here we have x2 and x3. Here also we have x2 and x3. Here we have x1, x2 and x3. So that means what now? Still we cannot get our value of x1 or x2 or x3. So if you want to get it, what could be done? Please don't see this operation. Just tell me what could be done. I want some term, either x2 or x3. Either you can obtain this x2 or you can obtain this x3. Okay. Now it's simple. What we can do? We can manipulate or we can change our last equation. How we can change? With the help of our equation 1. With the help of equation 1. So that means what now? See here. Or here he has used our equation 2. So equation 2, very simple. That's right, because working with equation 2 becomes very simple. Why? Because both your x1 terms are eliminated. There are no x1 terms. We need to eliminate any one of these terms. Either I need to eliminate x2 or I need to eliminate x3. Choice is yours. That means what now? I can multiply this 1 with 3. That means this 3 and this minus 3 would get cancelled. Thereby you will be getting the value of your x3. Right? So that means that is what he has done here. Please observe carefully. So if you can, yeah. So let us see now what he has done here. He has done equation 2 into 3. So this is my equation 2. This I need to multiply with 3. That means it is the first term at least is 0. That means here I will get 3x2, right? 3x2 minus 12. 4 3s are 12. x3. This is equal to 12. Right? Then this they have added with the equation 3. What is our equation 3? Here is our equation 3, which is nothing but minus 3x2, right? Minus 3x2 plus 13x3, 13x3, okay? And this is equal to minus 9. Now, just add these two equations. Just add these two equations. What will happen? This x2 will get cancelled. Plus and minus. This will get cancelled. Okay. And plus 13 and minus 12. What you will get? You will just get x3. You just get x3. And okay. Sorry. So you will just get here x3. Okay. Next. So this is equal to what? x3 is equal to 9 minus 12 is nothing but 3. That means x3 is equal to 3. Okay. So the same thing we have got here. See, x3 is equal to 3. So that means finally we have found out one of the coefficients, that is x3. So if we can rewrite this equation, just what is happening now? The equation 1 has remained unchanged. So you write the same equation which is there here, 1 minus 2, 1 and 0. Equation 2, will the equation 2 change? No. Equation 2 is not changing. It will remain unchanged. Why? Because we are working with equation 3 and not with equation 2. We have just used that equation 2 to change the contents of our equation 3. So therefore you can see here it is 0, 1, minus 4 and 4 would remain the same. But after simplification, what is the coefficient of x3 here? It is 1. So therefore it is 1. And what is our constant, new constant? It is 3. So thereby you can see we have found out the value of x3. Right? Next thing. Now We have found out the value of x3. Next task is to what? Either find the value of x2 or find the value of x1. See, finding the value of x2 remains very simple now. Why? Because we already know the value of x3. X3 value we already know, not a big deal. Okay, so that means what now? I can use any one of the equations and I can get them, or what I can do, I can solve as we are solving the linear set of equations. So we'll follow the same procedure now. See, observe equation 2 and equation 3. I can easily eliminate this x3. We can easily eliminate this x3. That means what now? Just multiply this equation 3 with 4. Okay, that means this minus 4 and plus 4, they would get cancelled and you will be getting the value of x2. So if you can observe here, x2 minus 4x3 is equal to 4. That is nothing but your equation 2. Okay, we are changing now what equation? Equation 2. Okay, then 4 times equation 3, that is 4 into 1 and 4 into 3, that is 4x3 is equal to 12. So this plus and minus would get cancelled here, this plus and minus would get cancelled. What will get here? We'll just get x2, and 12 plus 4 is what now? 16. So thereby, what is our new value now? What is the coefficient of x2 here, friends? 1. So therefore here we have written 1. Rest all others are what now? 0. So this is equal to 16. So we have got our x3 which is 3, we have got our x2 which is 16. Then very simple to find your x1. So to find x1, we have to use your equation 1. We have to use our equation 1. Why? Because both equation 2 and equation 3, we have eliminated our x1. That's why this method is called as elimination method. So what we will be doing here now? Multiply equation 2 with 2. This equation you multiply with 2. That means you have got here 2x2 is equal to 16 into 2 is 32. So 2x2 is equal to 32. Add this with equation 1. This is your equation 1. Okay. So here we have x1. This x2 would get cancelled. x1 plus x3 is equal to 32. Okay. Now, still we are unable to get your x1. Why? Because still we have an unknown term, which is x3. Okay. Now, what we will be doing now? I want to eliminate this x3 is nothing but its coefficient is what? 1. Where is the equation among these 3 equations? Which is that equation wherein we have an x3 and which could be used? It is nothing but your equation 3. So that means what now? You just multiply this equation 3 with minus 1, then that minus 1 and this plus 1 would get cancelled. Thereby x3 would be getting cancelled. Okay. So what we have done here, please see the operation what we are doing. Equation 1 plus, it is multiplied by minus 1 into equation 3, which is equal to equation 1. So that means what now? We are getting here minus x3 is equal to minus 3. So this plus x3 and minus x3 would get cancelled. Thus just x1 would remain as it is, and 32 minus 3 is 29. Okay. So therefore friends, what are our new equations? It is nothing but the coefficient of x1 is what? 1. So 1, and what is the constant value we are getting here? 29. So 1 and 29. This is x2. You can see here x2 we have already found it out. x2 is equal to what? 16. Or you can observe from the equation set itself. x2 is equal to 16 and x3 is equal to what? 3. x3 is equal to 3. So therefore our solution set is nothing but it is 29, 16 and 3. That is nothing but the values of your x1, x2 and x3. So this is nothing but how you will be finding your solution set using elimination method. With the help of the elimination method, you can find your solution. So this is one method. Okay. So please go through this very carefully and try to solve this equation which I have given, and this set of equation you try to make a notes of it and then come back to me if you have any doubts. Okay. Thank you.